Hello, this is Jamel Crothers from the Pros Post channel. Thank you for clicking into my video. Let's delve into a fictional story with a young man named Harry who made a big mistake in drinking and driving, and it nearly cost him his life. That's the number on the back of my prison uniform, if that's what you want to call it, I guess. I don't know. It's lockdown as I'm writing this right now. I'm in this small cell with another inmate on the top bunk. As I watch roaches crawling on my wall and smelling crap, it's starting to become the norm of being in prison. The smell of crap is the worst as these toilets suck. They don't flush everything completely as it takes a few pushes of the button. We don't talk much as we have our own things that we do, with no window to look outside to even watch the sunset. Those are the things I used to enjoy before heading out for nights on the town. And there was this one night that got me in this prison for a long time. I'm paying a hefty price for the worst decision I've ever made in my life. Now, I'm in this 8x11 prison cell to think about it every single day. My name is Harry, but no one in here knows me by that. We're only known by the numbers that are on our backs. Those numbers are my birthday if you look carefully. I'm constantly reminded of that and how young I truly am. All of these prisoners know how old I am and look at me in shame. Most of these guys have been here for years and will die in this hellhole. Murderers, drug dealers, and I'm the alcoholic who killed people. Prisoners filled with tattoos, shaved heads, and work out like fiends on drugs. Being out on the yard, I always stay to myself, and I also eat alone too. My cellmate has his own clique that he hangs out with, not trying to barge in on him. There's this give respect, receive respect ordeal in here, and I totally get it. No man in here is trying to give up his throne in this prison as everyone runs things. I've seen my share of things that I used to think was just on television, but a lot of it is real deal things that go on in here on a regular basis. These prison guards have to always be keen and alert at all times. I've seen urine thrown in an officer's face and spilled under a cell. A lot of mentally ill men in this prison. I've seen my share of things that don't look well. And to get them to take their medication every day is another battle within itself. Food is fed to us like we're animals in here. I'm used to eating at a table every day. The food here is disgusting, and I know I'm bound to get sick from this. Not even a dog would eat half of this stuff that's served to us. And we have other prisoners making this food, so who knows what they do to it. I wonder if they wear gloves or even wash their hands before making this crap. Anytime I get fruit or I get to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I'm all for it. No one really comes to visit me as my family has abandoned me for the most part. I guess they got tired of telling me to go get help for my alcohol addiction. I never felt I had a problem, but the reality is that I did, but I won't discuss that right now. Right now, I'm too engulfed in hearing the creepy sounds of the night in this prison. A bunch of people screaming and hollering. I barely get any sleep in here. I'd rather be in solitary confinement at night. Those prison walls are thicker. These orange jumpsuits is what I used to watch other people wear on television. Now I'm the one with it on, and for a long time as I have to wash it daily. This is the last place I thought I'd end up. Never envisioned my life going this way. I'll be spending my years living in regret and wondering how to keep my sanity. I've lost all hope in my smile. Being here makes you change your ways. There's no way you can be happy here on a daily basis. That's for sure. The guards in here have to be tough, as they're dealing with a bunch of criminals. Ones that are capable of anything at any time. And that's the damn truth. I've seen my share of fights that have gone on, and it's scary. In the cafeteria, the guards can get control of it faster than if it's on the yard. I don't have much protection here, but staying to myself for now helps my cause. Eventually, I'll need to hang around people who will look out for me when need be. My life was good for the most part, before all of these tragic events happened. If I could turn back the hands of time with my life, I'd be happy. I was given signs and opportunities to get my life together. Now, people call me by my cellmate number instead of my first name. Spot checks throughout the day, and these numbers are my identification. This is going to be a long night listening to these crazy inmates. Now I finally understand what people in here mean when you sleep during the day. What a life I used to have before I ended up here in lockdown. Life before the accident was full of ups and downs. My childhood wasn't really the greatest, to be honest. Alcoholism runs in my family, which isn't necessarily a good thing. My family dodged a lot of bullets from having drunk driving accidents. For me, I always thought I was untouchable and it wouldn't happen to me, especially with me having family members on the police force. My drinking started at a very young age, at 14 years old. That's when my father gave me my first beer in my hand. The drinking started then, and my dad had his pantry and his man cave. The basement was where all of the drinking went down most weekends. My dad would invite his friends over along with my uncles coming over. We'd sit, play cards, BS, and have liquor everywhere you looked. My dad was always loaded with liquor behind his custom-built bar. The man cave was always the place to be, but my alcohol drinking couldn't be controlled. My home was a very dysfunctional environment as my parents argued a lot, which caused me to drink more to forget my woes and what I was dealing with. As I got older, I would venture out into the world with my drinking ways, spending most weekends at one of my friends' houses where they had parties. My parents were very well off financially, and most of my friends were too, so we were basically spoiled brats with drug and drinking tendencies that went overboard. Police officers would turn their heads on our parties if the price was right. There was always a parent or parents that were away on business or on vacation. So someone had the house to themselves most of the time, and that's where the parties would be. Getting liquor into our possession wasn't hard as parents bought the liquor ahead of time. The parties were wild and had me driving home was always risky business as a teen, especially since I was one of the oldest and the first to get a license and a brand new car. Being an only child had plenty of perks, and I was able to get out of trouble a lot. When your parents have money, it's easy to do stupid things and get out of it. My drinking got out of control when I went to college. That's all I did. All different days of the week. It didn't matter, and I always needed a drink. There was problems with me all along in my life. I had social anxiety, and liquor loosened me up a little bit and made me comfortable. Girls liked the me when I drank because I was more sociable. I was never comfortable talking with people in a social setting while I was sober. My house became the hangout spot, and I would drive people home after, or there would be bottles of liquor around my friends as they slept on floors. I'd get the slap on the wrist for my intoxicated driven nights, as police officers would tail behind me to make sure I got home okay. I wish I could tell you that my life was perfect, but it really wasn't. Having money meant making stupid decisions and hating your parents for it. Being a millionaire came at a hefty price, but no one really knew it. So many stories, not enough time to tell them while chronicling these thoughts. I've always been a complete mess and lucky to have gotten through most of my life. My life has been nothing but a roller coaster ride of ups and downs, loops, swoops, and pulls. My life has always been a tailspin, and I just never resolved any of my issues. I had issues and insecurities within me, within the core of my soul. I had parents who had me, and I always felt like I was just a mistake. My babysitters and housekeepers did more raising me than my parents. They were career driven and always were on vacations and didn't take me. I always felt left out of their lives, and I felt neglected, and that's where the liquor took over. It comforted me in so many ways and made me feel better about myself. It helps me to escape so many thoughts in my head and feel free. After a while, my drinking got to where I was being belligerent and causing problems and friction among my friends and family. I was becoming exactly like my father and uncles, where I had no self-control, would fall asleep and wake up with hangovers. Looking in the mirror at myself every morning in a drunken mindset, with dizziness and not even cognizant of who I really am. I knew looking at my reflection that I needed help, but I denied it, and it became another day of putting the liquor bottle to my mouth. Depending on the day was whether I was drinking it straight or not. In social settings, it was red cups with soda or juice with my liquor. I drank anything that was readily available. Granted, beer and tequila wasn't my thing, but if that was all that was there, that was what was infiltrating my bloodstream. Passing out at parties became a norm where friends would take me home to where I was hugging toilets and waking up to vomit on my clothes. We all had drinking problems, but I guess mine was getting worse. Denial was in my eyes every time someone told me to get help for my drinking. Getting in my car every time I finished drinking was not a thought. I wasn't thinking I could potentially hurt, injure, or kill someone. Those "don't drink and drive" commercials didn't apply to me at all. I was always coherent and fully functional when driving under the influence. I could drive with 1 drink in me or even 7 to 8 drinks. I was the man. The amount of times I've done it, I never thought for a second I'd get into an accident. Most nights were a blur with my drinking episodes, but I got home okay. And that's all that matters, right? I guess if I'm not sitting in this cell writing this. I don't know what prompted me to write about this journey of mine, but I guess it was time for me to admit that I had problems and I needed help. It's a shame it took me to ruin people's lives and even my own to get to this place. Hard lessons in life are learned after you're given numerous chances to get it right. The thoughts and flashbacks of my life as I sit in this jail cell, knowing I've had numerous chances and opportunities to get my life together. I could have gone to rehab and received the help that I needed all along. But I've been drinking alcohol for a good 12 years, and it's been nothing but bad, destroying my insides as I tried to cure the inside of me and who I am, unable to cure my soul of the lost love I never received from my parents. Are my parents to blame for me being in the position I'm in right now? Partially, but not totally. I'm responsible for my own actions. I always wondered what my life would have been if I didn't start drinking, and if I addressed these depressive, compulsive feelings with my parents. In a way, I feel it's too late to tell them I needed them in my life more, and it does not consist of liquor in our bloodstreams every weekend. Alcoholism runs in my family, and it's been a rampant issue for decades. Now I'm the culprit who is hopefully teaching everyone to get help for their issues. I never thought that my life would end up in shambles the way it is. The hurt inside and the pain I've caused others will forever haunt me. Reflections of that night come to my mind on a daily basis. The PTSD will probably never go away for as long as I live. Those are the first 2 chapters of my book, One Drink Too Many. Harry is now in prison for drinking and driving. Now, drunk driving costs the United States more than $44 billion annually in damages, healthcare, legal expenses, and lost productivity. There are so many other alarming statistics regarding drunk driving, and hopefully my book and fictional story will open ourselves up to more conversations about this social issue and prevention. Drunk driving has been a serious issue for decades. It's something that goes on an everyday basis. People are dying every day from drunk driving accidents. A lot of people are innocent in a lot of these situations. The book links are in the description, so please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, as there are plenty more videos like this on social issues coming in the near future. Until next time, be good and stay safe.